to the sky as you come undone. Reach so high you could touch the sun. Touch the sun.
Hi, everybody. We're here today with KarinBash, getting to learn a little more about her. Hi, Karen. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, hi, Kate. Thanks for having me. This is great. I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too. So a couple basic questions to get started. Where were you born and where did you grow up?
Yeah, I was actually born in Rochester, New York. It's very close to Canada. I say I'm basically Canadian. It's much farther from New York City than it is to Canada. And I was born and raised there. I moved to California when I was 20.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Was music always a big part of your life when you were a younger child?
Oh, yes, it actually was. My parents were in a band. All of my family members on all sides were in bands. My grandparents were in a band. My dad grew up in Detroit, and his first band was with Glenn Frey and Ted Nugent.
Wow.
And so I grew up with band practice in my basement. They were in a country music band. Country was not my favorite for a long time because of that. But yeah, holidays were just everyone kind of hanging out around the fire with guitars and singing and kind of riffing on music.
That's really cool. So do you play instruments too then?
I don't. I never picked it up. I took piano lessons briefly. I regret quitting now. I took them when, younger, maybe 7 or 8, and I quit. I was too bored. All of my family members play instruments. My brother can play any instrument under the sun in the drop of a hat. So I always say that DJing and the turntables were my contribution to the family music tree.
Yeah, exactly. A little something different.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So how old were you when you discovered electronic music then?
Oh, I don't know the exact age. Good question, but probably 15 or
Okay.
16, because I remember I started driving pretty recently after hearing it. We had this really great local radio station growing up in Rochester. It's completely funded by the community, so there's no commercial music, there's no payola, it's everything that's chosen by the DJs. And it's still live and active and kicking today, and they played amazing music. And I first heard, I think it was Praga Khan, Injected with a Poison, which is very industrial electronic. And then I heard Lords of Acid, and then I heard Faithless Insomnia.
Oh,
And yeah, it was done for me.
yeah, that's cool. So would you say those three artists are kind of the ones that hooked you into it, or did you have an experience later on that really stuck with you?
Well, they hooked me into the music for sure. And then I quickly started going out. I made myself a fake ID and I had older friends. And so I got into all the clubs and I went every night of the week to whichever club had the ladies' night specials and heard all the music. Crystal Method actually was probably, and Fluke with Atom Bomb, but Crystal Method, their Vegas album, and Busy Child. And
Yeah.
I would just go and lose myself on the dance floor every night of the week. And I loved it so much.
Yeah, I have very vivid memories of blasting Crystal Method in my car on the way to horse shows. So I would get like pumped up to show and everything.
That's awesome. Blasting loud in the car is the best.
Yeah, those were good times.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you learned to DJ then?
Yeah, well, probably, I guess 22 or so. I moved to California when I was 20. I finished college here. I was in Santa Barbara. I couldn't pay anyone. There was like one house music club. It was all hip hop. I'm just not a fan I loved hip hop growing up in high school, but I'm not a fan of that scene. And so I couldn't really get out to clubs for like a year when I was in Santa Barbara. And then I moved down to Orange County and then LA. And I met this group of people who were all going to clubs. And then they were all DJs. And so I wanted to share my love of music and share how music made me feel with other people. So they taught me how to DJ. I must have been 22 or so. And then I had my first actual gig was in 2003 at Circus Disco upstairs. It's where they did Spunday nights. Our local promoter friend gave me like a couple hours. My mom came to the set. It was on turntables that were like hanging on chains from the ceiling. And
yeah, that's very cool. So you've been DJing about a year then, or how many years have you been DJing when you got your first gig?
2003, so 17 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but no worries. I took a bunch of time off. I was DJing a ton. immediately second. I was DJing for friends, and we would throw parties, and then we would fly people over from Europe, and then we would fly over to Europe, and they would have us play there. So I played in Spain and Mallorca, kind of all over the place. And then one of my like second or third gig, I played at Stereo Montreal, which is this legendary club with like one of the only analog sound systems in the world. And that was incredible, but it was one of my first gigs ever. And I played a ton, and I was playing all over in LA. And then I kind of moved away from it. The party life was getting a little intense for me. I've always had a corporate normal job too, and it was getting a little intense. And I also knew that, I felt like maybe I should start producing, but I knew that would just take so much time. So I stepped away from it for a few years. I would keep getting pulled back in from friends who wanted me to play at a show or a party or something. So I would come and go. So yeah, I definitely took some years off, but I've always had gear. I mean, I went from turntables to trying on the laptop, and I don't know, I have pretty bad eyesight, so it's hard to see the song titles when they're listed on the laptop. And then moving to CDs and the CDJs and now the USB. So I've always kind of dabbled.
So what did you learn on? What type of system did you learn on?
Turntables, vinyl.
Yeah, very cool. And then what equipment are you guys using now?
We have I bought the CDJ 3000s. They're amazing. I had the XDJs, Pioneer mixer is the best. I still have my Techniques turntables. I still have a bunch of vinyl. I need to actually set it up.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, and play with it. But yeah, then I had the XDJs for a long time, and I had the Pioneer 600 mixer for like 10 years. And it sounded really horrible. And so once I started, it's just so tinny. Once I started DJing kind of more, I found out what I should get. And I got the 900 mixer, and I bought XDJs. And I had that for a while. I still have the 900 mixer, but I recently upgraded to the CDJ 3000s. And they're incredible to DJ on. The features that you can do, it helps you be a better DJ. And then the screen is big for blind people like me. And it's a killer setup.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to stream? Was that something, did you stream it all before quarantine or anything?
No, not at all.
Heard of Twitch?
No, I hadn't.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I think I did because obviously Dave, it was before quarantine. So Twitch had signed the full Anjuna catalog to, they signed a contract so gamers could play anything on Anjuna beats while they're gaming. And so G&D had a show at Twitch headquarters. So I actually had been to Twitch headquarters and was like, what is this? Oh my gosh, this thing exists. Like these gamers are out here doing this. I had no idea. That was before quarantine. No DJs were really streaming on it. It's still only, Dave talks to the people at Twitch, obviously. And I think it's like, I don't know, 4% of their overall business still or something. So it's still a really minor portion. That's how big the gaming is.
Yeah, that's insane.
Which is insane. Yeah. But yeah, it was quarantine, and I was actually down at my dad's with my brother when the lockdown started. And then Dave, I was talking to him, and he was trying to figure out how to get set up on streaming. And like, I'm sitting there with absolutely nothing to do. Like literally all I could do was go for a walk and work. And I love the music so much, and I love to DJ. And then my brother is a sound guy and a musician. So he had a sound card, and he had a computer where he could easily get me set up to figure out how to stream, because I was just like blown away. I didn't know what to do. I was like, what? You have to hook up a sound card? How does that work? But my brother knew how to do it. My gear was all up here, my XDJs and everything. So I bought like a little Pioneer all-in-one system off Reverb, which is like eBay for musical equipment. And that came, and I just started streaming just for fun, frankly, and for the release. And like, you get into the flow, and nothing feels better. And I streamed on Facebook a few times, and frankly, that's where more of the audience is, like my friends. Yeah, it's just easier. Like, they think it's easier, at least. They're like, oh, I'm on Facebook and you're streaming. and it was great, but then you get cut off or you get muted, and then
Right.
like 20 minutes in I would get cut off. So then I started streaming on both Twitch and Facebook and telling people like, just click the link, go to Twitch. But
Yeah.
and some people made the jump, some people didn't. And then Facebook just became too annoying with the muting and the cutting off that I just said, fine, I'll just do Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I came back up here and built the rave cave in the basement, and
Glad you did.
yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's really fun.
How
It's
did
fun.
you come up with a theme for your streams? Has unicorns and magical things like that always been part of your personality?
I mean, not really. I'm definitely into probably magical things, like, I've been to Burning Man. I'm definitely a bit hippie for sure. I'm from, Rochester, New York, definitely a bit of a hippie. But it's Charlotte, Dave's daughter. She was super into unicorns, and she has a
Yeah.
bazillion stuffies, as you've seen. And it was just fun. And I was like, but you know what? Like, I found the unicorn even when I was at my dad and brother's house. Yeah, I have my one friend, Amber, and she is like a major burner. And I mean, I was streaming in like the most lame looking vanilla room there was at my dad's house. And so I bought like LED lights and a few other things. My brother was like, oh my God, what are you doing? And I needed something to spice it up. And so my
At a
friend,
Spencer's gift store or something.
totally, Amazon, like something
Yeah.
from Amazon came every day.
Yeah.
It was the most exciting part of the day, was going to the mailbox back in the first part of quarantine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Amber recommended a few cool lights, and then I stumbled across this. I should hold it up. There's one over there, but Charlotte wanted one too. But I stumbled across the unicorn white light that is now my logo on Amazon, and so I ordered that, and that was the rest was history, basically.
And that's the light you feature in your low tech visual redeem.
That's similar. I found that on Amazon too, but yeah, that's similar. Yeah. It's the one that's the logo, kind of the white unicorn outline.
Oh, the glass one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The LED. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So cute. So how long does it take you to plan each of your sets? Or do you plan them at all, or do you just kind of go with your mood for the day?
Right. Yeah. I am not a set planner. I'm kind of against it. I could see if you're like playing a huge show. I mean, and I do, like, I have an idea of where I want to go and what I want to play, and where I want to start. I'm very big into being a journey DJ. So starting slow and then building up and going on a journey. Yeah, I really want to be free to go with the flow too. And of course, like if you're DJing to a dance floor, I want to be free to kind of feed off the dance floor and build off that or give them what they need. So I really don't like to hardcore plan. If I'm going to record a mix that's going to be like officially public, and I have mixes on SoundCloud and things I've worked on, a few mixes that I've worked on really hard. Yes, that will be planned. I will record it. I will listen to it in the car. I will go back. I will re-record it. I'll figure out, oh, this song doesn't work, and I'll kind of move it around. But if I'm doing a DJ set, I have an idea, but I like to go with the flow too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it takes hours, and I work all week. And so usually then to stream Sunday, I will start hunting for new music Friday night, and Saturday, mainly all day Saturday, and definitely all day Saturday night. And then you have to find it, you have to listen to it, you have to download it, you have to like do your special naming features, you have to load it into your system, you have to make sure all the cue points are right. There's a lot of like prep work on the music beforehand, and then you have to sort it into your software called Rekordbox and get it in the playlist that you want it to be, and then remember where it is. And
yeah. I would have to imagine remembering where it is the hardest part, honestly.
So especially when you get a ton of music on your drive, it can get overwhelming. Luckily, there's a ton of sort features on the CDJs and Rekordbox that help. Like you can go by date added and just see your new ones, and you can add a bunch of features that help you find what you want, what you're looking for.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
And so for your day job, you're working full time still. Did you ever slow down from quarantine?
And I really didn't, thank goodness. I'm so lucky. I'm so blessed that, we weren't impacted. So, and actually it's been even busier because they're like, oh, everyone's home. Let's do another Zoom meeting. You can start at 7 a.m., right? And
Yeah.
it's been intense, but I'm really grateful because I know a lot of people who, obviously in the music industry, that has just been decimated,
Yeah.
in entertainment. But I know a lot of people in other industries too who have been laid off and can't find work anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. It's a very sad situation, but hopefully that'll be coming
I
to an
know.
end here soon.
Hopefully, yes. Yeah, we all need it too.
So what genre would you say you play on your streams mostly for people that have not seen you stream before?
Yeah, and I call it generalizing. Genre.
I love it.
Yeah, it's so hard to, and some people are always making up new genre names.
Yeah.
And I'll name like 10 if I have to like think of some. But honestly, I would say primarily I'm progressive trance.
Yeah.
I kind of like rediscovered or discovered that label recently, and I was like, wait, that's exactly what I play. My roots started with sort of industrial and kind of hardcore, but then it definitely, like when I learned to DJ, it was all progressive. It was all the prog greats, Nick Warren, Sasha and Digweed, on vinyl. So those were my roots. And then it was house music. So I was in a tech house for a while, and minimal tech and deep tech. And I love deep tech and house, but honestly, I'd say progressive and progressive trance and progressive tech trance.
Yeah. And any other combo you want to make it?
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
What
Totally.
are your normal stream times?
Sunday at 3 Pacific is my usual stream time.
Yeah. And that's usually, I'm usually there. So that's a lot of fun.
Cool. I love it. Yeah, I love you being there. Thank you.
Yeah. And I definitely like to redeem the low tech visuals.
That's so fun. I love it. Yeah.
It is fun. It's a great feature, honestly.
Awesome. Thank you. It's so fun, and interacting with the chat is great. And if I'm having a bad day, like I just go get lost in the stream and hang out with everyone in chat, and it changes everything. It's so much fun. I just get totally lost in it. It's great.
I agree. It's a great getaway for sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
What has been your favorite stream of your own so far? If you have, it's probably hard to narrow down.
I know, huh? Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. There have been a bunch. And actually, even I think right before we went on break, I do 3 hours, 3 to 6 usually Pacific. And for the last hour or so, I played a bunch of like old break beats because I was really into breaks. And I was really like proud of that. And I was old and fast and all messed up, and because they're from vinyl, and I was really proud with how that one turned out. I was really happy with that. But honestly, they're all so special and so different and so unique, and people come in. I've had a couple raids from Tony's deep set stream, the Anjuna stream, and they're all really great. Frankly, even last night, our back-to-back on CQ with Dave for 9 hours and 15 minutes, I was really happy with that too. I loved how I played. I had a lot of fun. So
yeah, that was a great stream. I think I saw about 3 hours of that before I had to check out. But it was amazing. I'm like messaging my friends, Karen's killing this. This is so awesome. It's just so good to be back,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I got to play kind of how I like to play, which is more like anything goes. I mean, if I want to do a full deep set, I will, but I want to be able to like let loose and shake things out and have some fun too. For me, it's all about having fun on the dance floor. And if something makes me move, then that's what I want to play. Yeah.
Awesome. What's been your favorite stream of someone else's? Do you have one you can pin down for that?
Oh, you know what? Yes. When Dave played on Vision, Seven Lions Vision set, and he played like an hour classics set. I literally was in tears 3 times. Aww. Remembering it just brought back so many memories of all my club nights with those songs. And then Seven Lions had the dancers on the screen too, which now most people are doing, but I think that was the first time I had seen it, where they like had green screen dancers next to the DJs. And it literally, the music and the vibe and the feeling, and then those dancers, I felt like I was at a club and there were go-go dancers live. it was really incredible. It was so cool. That felt really good.
That's awesome. I'll have to, I'll see if I can link to that under this video.
Oh,
So
cool.
you can see it.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of have mentioned this already, but have you had any memorable raids?
Right. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, I'd say the Anjuna one, the big one. I mean, I don't remember how many there was, maybe 600 people or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, that's always exciting and nerve wracking. You're like, oh my God, what's happening? And
Yeah, your chat just starts going crazy and you're like, what's going on?
Yeah, am I doing good? How am I doing? Does it
Yeah.
sound good right now? And don't get distracted because it takes a lot of focus. And actually, sometimes I'll get too distracted in chat. And then I'm really particular. Like when I first started DJing with those friends, I mean, we would be yelling out to each other if you had a train wreck. If you screwed up, they would yell like, whose shoes are in the dryer? And another girl would get like a train horn and a conductor hat, like a train whistle. And
nice.
Yeah, so it was pretty rough. I mean, we would literally spend all weekend DJing to each other, and then all the huge DJs from the LA club would come for after hours. And so it was pretty rough. So I'm pretty particular on my mixes and my timing. And if I get too distracted in chat, the timing is really important to me on when I'm going to bring the next song. So yeah, it gets a little nerve wracking when you get a big raid.
Well, I mean, it's kind of good to hear that even after as many years as you've been doing this, that you still get nervous and concerned about your mixing and all that kind of stuff. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm still learning something every time. And it's, I used to be really hard on myself if I screwed up. And I know when I play amazing and I know when I screw up. But now it's like, I'm so grateful for the streaming because I'm really like building my DJ muscles. And then I learned some tiny little thing every single time that'll just help me get better next time.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
So, who would you like to do a B2B with that you haven't done one with yet? Because I'm sure you've had several amazing ones before.
Right. Yeah. You know what, honestly, I mean, if we're talking like pie in the sky, big, my big DJ idol is Sasha. And I just think he's so incredibly talented. He's a legend in my eyes, and he absolutely has legendary status. Frankly, if I have pie in the sky, I would love to do back to back with Sasha.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
You had mentioned earlier that you had thought about taking some time off to produce. Did you ever get into producing, or is that still something that you're thinking about?
Yeah, I didn't. I can do little edits in Ableton, and I've done a couple like sort of mashups where you take two songs, maybe like add a beat to a song that needs a little something extra energy. But that's as far as I've gone. It honestly overwhelms my brain. I mean, just even thinking of looking at the computer screen and all the different tracks and 4 beats of this and 8 beats of this, and you have to make that into a whole song, and there's a million different layers. I imagine that I'm overwhelmed by it, but honestly, usually I imagine things to be worse than they actually are, and I probably could do it if I just tried. But no, I haven't taken the time. There's definitely a couple songs, like I played a song last night in a really old Moro Picoto trance track that needs to be refreshed, and I love it. It's one of my old favorites from the club, and if I do something, I would probably want to do it to that one, at least to start. But no, I haven't gone down that path yet.
All right. Well, maybe someday and maybe not.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Right.
So who are your current favorite artists and songs? Sasha's obviously on the list. Who else do you look up to?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So current, there's so many too, and there's so much new music that comes out constantly. It's just like, oh my gosh. Obviously G&D, Gabriel and Dresden, are a huge influence for me. They're incredible. He used to hang out with that crew too, where I first learned to DJ. So I've heard his music for a long time, or their music. And I love their live sets, actually. Their live sets are incredible. And I always tell people they have to go see them live because they're just going to have a blast. And they really are into that journey. sort of setup. Frankly, at Yotto, I think is amazing. I love Yotto's music. Yeah. And then of course, like Camel Fat, Art Bat,
Yes.
yeah, right. Yeah. Rufus, Book of Shade, they're kind of old legends too. And they're like, yeah, turning out some really cool stuff now. Andon is turning out amazing stuff. Marsh. I mean, there's so much. And then there's like little onesie twosies too, like Casper Coleman. I discovered one of his tracks, I think early in quarantine, and I just couldn't stop playing it. I love his sound. There's so many new artists and new songs that are coming out.
Yeah, it's been an incredible year for that, I think. I think it's probably because a lot of people have so much time on their hands.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly.
So how are things for you now where you guys live as far as quarantine? You've recently had a change there, is that right?
Yeah, yep, back into more lockdown. Honestly, I'm not running out and doing things anyway. We're staying pretty locked down as it is, so it's not much different. I already was working remote before any of this, so I was already on Zoom all day, every day anyway. But yeah, I guess restaurants are now probably takeout only again.
Okay.
No hotels. Yeah, there might be a curfew. Yeah, more lockdown, but not much change for me. I really wasn't running around and doing a ton of things anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you plan to keep on streaming after things are back to life as usual, which will probably be quite some time, but.
Exactly. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure. I haven't even really thought about it because I don't know when that's going to be. I don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just going to, I guess, play it by ear and see how it shakes out.
Well, we hope you do.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, I absolutely love it.
Yeah. For all the people that don't live near you guys, we hope that you keep to your Sunday sets.
Awesome.
Or maybe a different day if you're traveling on the weekends.
I know, huh? Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd love to stream and I'd love to play some shows too.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Have you made any friendships through streaming? Have you gotten to meet any of those people?
Definitely have. Yeah. Well, we played that Midway show about a month ago or so, and a ton of people came out. It was amazing. I mean, it was literally for Club Quarantine, and people were so excited, and for the Rave Cave, and
yeah,
it was amazing. And yeah, I'm really close with Nikki, Materia Blue, Dark Siren. We talk constantly.
Yeah, I've gotten to talk to her also. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, she's such a sweetie. Yeah, they're incredible. Her and Morgan, they flew out and we got to hang out. Jeff Hines, he came up too, and I hung out with all of them. It was great. I talked to Irene a ton and Eric.
Mm-hmm.
They're great. They're helping.
They sound amazing. I mean, with the amount of work they put in, it's just incredible what they do.
Yeah, they are hardcore. They're all about it. It's the energy they have and they bring to it. I think they needed the break too, maybe even more so than Dave. But Irene and we talk all the time. She's great. Yeah, and I mean, there's so many people. Yeah, even Sim, and she brought her son onto the stream. I think I forget 9 maybe. She brought her son into House of Bash, Rave Cave, and he was on there commenting, and we'll message a few times or we'll chat on maybe some Facebook posts. But yeah, kind of the whole fam, and everyone comes in, and I recognize all the names, and everyone's really amazing. Sarina has been an amazing supporter of mine. Yeah. Cassandra O, Yep, she did my logo. They're just her and Allie Nain and Sarina. They're my 3 mods, and they're so supportive. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it without them. Frankly, you have to have mods, and just the amount of time that they put in, and what Cassandra did with all of my incredible logos, and she'll help me with the flyer. I wouldn't be able to do it without them.
Yeah,
it's really amazing. Yeah.
I think good mods is definitely a key, because I've definitely been in some channels where you go in there and you're just completely ignored.
Right.
And it definitely makes it less fun. I mean, you are there kind of for the music, but it's also about the vibe in the chat. And you're another one of the lucky ones that just has a great vibe in the chat all the time.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's so true. And yeah, I'm there for the chat too. I'm a chat room kid. I was in club forums, and using AOL Instant Messenger, and yeah, it's definitely about having fun and building up those relationships. I love when you're there, and there's a ton of people who come and show up, all the regulars. It feels really good. It's nice.
I agree.
I hope it feels good for everyone else too.
Yeah, well, it does for sure. I mean, based on what I've talked to people about, I mean, these are relationships we're going to have for the rest of our lives. I hope. I mean, it certainly feels like that. I have a best friend now from this, Jenny Bean K.
Oh, awesome. She's amazing.
Yeah, we talk all the time. So it's almost like a deeper connection. I don't know. It's just kind of hard to describe.
Yeah, it really is amazing. I know. I can't wait until we can all meet up and be in person. I got to meet everyone almost at the Midway show, and tons of people came and brought us things. And I can't even list all the names.
I know.
All the people who showed up. Yeah, but it was really incredible. And it was really awesome to meet them in person.
Yeah, very cool.
Yep.
Do you have any events coming up? Now, I'm not exactly sure when this will be aired. They're kind of scheduling those now, but maybe into early January, any events coming up you want anyone to know about?
Let's see. Well, no, really just next weekend. So that's like December 19th and 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see on timing. Nothing beyond that. So the 19th, I am going to participate in Pam Nebo's DJs for Life stream in honor of Io. Yes. And yeah, in his passing, which is really sad. And in honor of mental health awareness, it's going to be a charity rate-a-thon stream benefiting To Write Love on Her Arms, which I had actually heard of many years ago. And so in mental health, I mean, I'm sure we've all dealt with it. I'm definitely no stranger to having painful feelings. And being a human being is really hard sometimes. Sometimes I tell myself, like, whose great idea was this anyway?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So anything I can do to help support and fundraise. And frankly, my stream is a fundraiser for NAACP.
Yeah. How much did you raise this year? And you guys are doing, your company's doing, is it 100% match?
Yep, 100% match. Yeah, so I think I'm at almost $5,000. It might be $4,600. Yep, yeah, and that's everyone's donations. And that's frankly, Twitch takes a cut, unfortunately. So some people send me PayPal. But yeah, that's even after any Twitch fees. And then my company matches. Yeah,
that's incredible. Well, is there anything else you want your viewers to know before we let you go today?
Oh gosh, just thank you. Thank you so much for being there and supporting me and having fun in chat and always showing up. Yeah, it almost is going to make me teary, but thank you for the support. And I hope it helps everyone feel good too.
It does. We love watching you. Thank you so much for your time today. And we will catch you the next time you're on. And for anyone that has not seen Karin yet, there is a link below this video to just go straight to her Twitch page and give her a follow so you can see her as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.